Hello my dear students, I warmly welcome you to CR Digital Classes. So in this lecture, we are going to discussing unique representation theorem. Okay, so first of all observe the statement of this theorem. State and prove unique representation theorem. That means in this theorem, we are going to discussing the unique representation of a vector, that is linear combination of. Okay, so therefore, see the statement. Let capital B is equal to B1, B2 up to so on B suffix n be a basis for the vector space capital V. Then for each small x belongs to capital V, there exists a unique set of scalars C1, C2 up to so on C suffix n such that this vector small x, okay, so along with this scalar C1, C2 up to so on Cn and the vectors in the basis, we can write in unique way. That unique way is small x is equal to C1 B1 plus C2 B2 up to so on C suffix n B suffix n. Okay, so in the next spanning set theorem or the basis theorem or next upcoming lectures, we can use this vector equation very oftenly. So that means whenever you get a basis capital B in the vector space capital V, and at the same time for the number of vectors, so same number of scalars, if you get that, then any random vector or arbitrary vector small x from the same vector space capital V, we can write linear combination. Linear combination in the sense C1 B1 plus C2 B2 plus up to so on C suffix n B suffix n. If you take any vector in the vector space capital B, we can write in this format. This representation is always unique. Okay, this vector equation or this representation is always unique. That's why we are calling this theorem as a unique representation theorem. Okay, so now let observe the proof of this theorem. Given that capital V is a vector space and capital B is equal to B1, B2 up to some B suffix n is a basis for capital V. Since capital B is linearly independent, that spans capital V. Whenever you take capital B as a basis for capital V, basis is nothing but indirectly it is a according to the definition of the basis condition, we can say whenever capital B is a basis for the vector space capital V, automatically it satisfies the linear independent condition. And second condition is that basis spans capital V. With the help of that basis only, that vector space is generated. Spans capital V is nothing but we can say it is generated by that basis only. Then for each vector small x belongs to capital V, there exist scalars C1, C2, C suffix n such that we can write small x is equal to representation format, that is C1 B1 plus C2 B2 up to some C suffix n B suffix n, that is taken as equation number 1. Now let there exist scalars D1 comma D2 up to some D suffix n, okay, such that we can also write another vector. That means the same vector only we can write in the another representation, that is small x is equal to D1 B1 plus D2 B2 plus up to some D suffix n B suffix n. Okay, so after getting that equation number 1 so we have to show this representation is unique. To show that representation is unique, so for the different types of scalars, so again we have to consider the same x value only. So that x value here we can take it as a equation number 2. Now in equation number 1 and equation number 2, both LHS are equal. That means small x is equal to small x. Then we can make the RHS of equation number 1 and equation number 2. So therefore from equation number 1 and equation number 2, this one is the RHS of equation number 1 C1 B1 plus C2 B2 plus up to so on C suffix n B suffix n, it is equal to D1 B1 plus D2 B2 up to so on Dn Bn. Okay, so send this total RHS value to LHS, then you will get in this format minus of that value equal to 0. So take vectors, basis లో ఉన్న vectors ఇక్కడ మనం కామన్ తీసుకుంటాం. So therefore here C1 B1 is there minus D1 B1 is there. Take B1 common, then you will get C1 minus D1 into B1. From the second term C2 B2 minus D2 B2. So take B2 common, you will get C2 minus D2 into B2 plus up to so on for the last two terms C suffix n Bn minus D suffix n Bn. So if you take B suffix n common, C suffix n minus Dn into B suffix n, that is equal to 0. So this total representation we are taking it as equation number 3. Since here B1, B2, B suffix n are the vectors in the basis capital B. Okay, since capital B is linearly independent, then all the weights in equation number 3 must be 0. Why? Because B1, B2, here vectors again we are getting basis vectors only, B1, B2, B3 only. Okay, whenever you get that representation, weights are nothing but coefficients of the vectors, C1 minus D1 or C2 minus D2, so on. Okay, so this all weights should be equal to, must and should be equal to 0 whenever the given basis is a linear independent. So therefore C1 minus D1 equal to 0, C2 minus D2 equal to 0, up to so on, C suffix n minus D suffix n is equal to 0. Then you will get C1 equal to D1, C2 equal to D2, up to so on, C suffix n is equal to D suffix n. Similarly, or finally we can write, okay, so C suffix j is equal to D suffix j for all j implies from 1 to small n. Okay, so where C suffix j initially before taking the linear combination, those are scalars. After applying the linear combination, we can call them as a weights. Okay, so therefore equation 1 and equation number 2 have the same representation. Whenever you get C suffix j is equal to D suffix j, from equation number 1 and equation number 2, small x has the same representation. That means for every small x belongs to capital V, there exists some scalars C1, C2 up to C suffix n, such that small x is equal to C1 B1 plus C2 B2 up to C suffix n plus C suffix n into B suffix n is the unique representation. Okay, so therefore this is the unique representation theorem. The representation is unique. Okay, so the main help of this theorem is nothing but in the next upcoming classes we can discuss about the spanning set theorem and basis theorem and problems based on those two theorems, where we can represent any vector in this format only. Small x is equal to C1 B1 up to so on C suffix n B suffix n. If you take any vector, okay, or else in the subspace spanned by the vectors only, those types of problems also we can represent the vector in this format only. Okay, so this is the total explanation of this theorem. I hope you understood this theorem very well. In the next lecture we are coming with another topic. Make a perfect practice, prepare well. Until bye, thank you.